Hello, today we're going to be talking about Xcode. Now Xcode is an app development app for Mac that was made by Apple. Now Xcode is only available for Macs, so if you have a Windows computer, I'm sorry, but you can't use this. So Xcode is used to create apps that you can see on the App Store on your iOS phones or iPads or even your Macs and Apple Watches and Apple TVs. So I'm just going to be showing you today the fundamentals of Xcode and basically how to get around the interface. So I'll show you a couple of my projects that I've worked on so far. So this one is called World Trotter, and this basically converts your degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. Now, if I was to run this, you press this button, but I have a simulator right here, so I'll just go on to World Trotter. And if I was to run this, if you would wait for it to load, you could type in whatever value you wanted. So let's say 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's 0 degrees Celsius. Or let's say 212 degrees Fahrenheit, that would be 100. Now for some reason right now, actually it's working now. Actually there were commas when you were typing in the numbers. No, I think that was only for the Spanish, because there actually is a Spanish mode for this. And this app, this has a lot of code. I'll show it to you in a couple minutes. But this app, it also has a map, which you can look in standard form. It's not loading for some reason. Satellite form, which basically is an image, a real image of the Earth through satellite, and hybrid, which is my favorite. So let's look at the code of this. So let's get into the Xcode app. And this is the storyboard. And this basically is where you put all the physical parts of the code. Not the code, I mean the project. So I typed in degrees Fahrenheit is really blank degrees Celsius. And this is a tab bar controller. This is where the map is. And AppDelegate Swift is one of the spots where your code is. So this is not too much code. These green parts are not really code at all. They're just notes for you, so you can sort of makes it easier if you're to stop and maybe you need to start again. So these are just notes. That's indicated by the 2 slashes and the green font. And this is the main strings. This is basically what I do for English and what I do for Spanish. Now the map view controller has a lot of code. This is what I've had to do for the map to get all the satellite, hybrid, and standard mode. This is the localization for Spanish and English. And the conversion view controller, I think, has the most code. This has a lot of the stuff for the Fahrenheit Celsius conversion. The assets are where you can get all the pictures from, but I don't think I have too many assets yet. I have just some icons. This is the launch screen, but I don't really see anything here. And this is the info. So I'm not skilled enough yet to build this app, so I've actually been using a book. It's called iOS Programming. It's from the Big Nerd Ranch. It's from Christian Cure and Aaron Hillgrass. And this book is really thick, but it also has a lot of information and it has a lot of stuff to work on, a lot of projects. So I'd highly recommend that if you wanted to start out. There's also another YouTube channel that I'd recommend. It's called Code with Chris, and he makes a lot of good videos on how to code in iOS. So let's go on to the next one. And this one is my quiz application. Now for some reason this isn't working. I mean, I probably have to check the book to see why this isn't working. But in theory, you press the button, and when you press the button, the answer to the question pops up. So you press a question and then you show answer. Now I'm sorry I can't show it to you, but I can show you how to code. So this is some of the code that I have for it. And this is some more. And this is not anything. Yeah, there isn't much to see in the quiz because it's basically broken. Now this is my favorite. This is the war application. Now this is really simple. Basically it's a game. where you press the deal button and two cards pop up. One card is yours and the other is the computer's. And basically the person who has the highest card number, they get a point. They basically play until you see who wins. There's really not too much to do with this app, but it's basically more of just to show what you could do with Swift. And this is some of the code that I have, so it's quite a bit. So these are what I've named the cards. And there's some randomizers, like select the image. And this is a storyboard. Now you can change the iPhone if you want. So if I wanted to, I could put an iPhone 8, or I could put an iPad Pro, but that probably wouldn't do well. And here's some of the assets. Yeah, you need a lot of assets for this game because of all the card designs. And there's nothing here, and I think we should get into this one. Just X out of that. And we can get on to War. The game's called War. That's why it's like that. It's a real card game. So this is how it is. I actually haven't even optimized it for the iPhone 10, but it's still working like a charm because I've sent in the code that because Apple comes out with new designs for their phones, app developers, they have to do stuff where they say, okay, this background will fill in the screen. Do this because that'll fill in the screen. So I did that for my code and I didn't even optimize it, but it's still working. So you're supposed to press the button, and when you press it, the cards get dealed. Or supposed to get dealed. Okay, they're there. Just clicked it a couple times. So you see the game's working. You press it. Okay, he won because queen is higher than 4. I won because 9 is higher than 3. And so on and so forth. See, I'm winning by a little bit. I'm on a streak. This is a look. Okay, yes, I was on a streak, but that got ended. So that's basically this. War. It's actually a real card game. I didn't know that, but it actually is. So this is the simulator, just so I've been showing, so I can show you. Some of these things were actually really new. This is really cool. Like you can turn it off, you can turn it on. And I'm sorry you can't really hear it right now, but there actually is noise, like the real iPhone 10. There's noise when I'm turning it off. And there's noise when I turn the switch to turn on like the ringer or not. And so here we have some of the parts of Xcode. So this is some working copies thing. You never really use that. Don't really use that either. And this is just a search bar. This here, you might be on the screen sometimes because if there are any issues with your code, you could just check this. And there's nothing really to this screen, or this screen, or this screen, or this screen. Yeah, you're mostly on this screen and sometimes on this one. And here there's a lot. So main storyboard, it has a lot, and there's a lot here for you. So these are some of the things that you do. Like this is the constraints. This is where you could do the alignment constraints. And these bars. This one isn't too important. I mean, if you want to look at like what goes on in the background, you can click this. But this is really important because it has a lot. Here, like you could type in buttons, say, and you could like drag and drop a button on. And like they have a whole list of things here. That's on the thing that's shaped like a home button. Here they have some stuffed templates. Here they have some of the assets. And there's nothing to worry about here. Mostly on this part. And this is where you can like select other devices. I've shown you that already. And yeah, here you're going to be spending some time as well. Like this is where you could maybe choose some categories, opens in which Xcode. Yeah, like you should select stuff and then you'll be able to do whatever you want. So like wherever you can stack it or view it. This is really just some stuff that you do for physical. And this is where most of the stuff goes on, the view controller. You can also make your own view controller if you want, if you really like this is a really big app. So here you can type on your codes like yada 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 / / yada 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 set image. And there are a lot of other things in this, but you'll be getting a little too in depth. Oh yeah, and here you can share your screen. So I could share my screen with the main storyboard, and I could also be typing some code to see what happens when I do that. So this is really all that you have in Xcode. It's not too difficult. You just have to really learn the coding language, and you also have to learn where everything goes in your app. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'm probably going to be showing some more videos on how to use Xcode, but I'll need to brush up a little bit before I can do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching it. Bye.